She insisted on an open marriage to explore other men. But when her husband found someone better, she begged for him back. Alright guys, welcome back to Alpha Talk. So, today I'm going to be going over this real-life story sent to me by a viewer, where basically, this guy was in what he considered to be this really happy, good marriage. And pretty much out of the blue, his wife tells him that she wants to have an open marriage where she can be free to go out and date and hook up with whoever she wanted. And of course, she said he could do it too. And this all happened because the wife got a new job at a new company, started hanging out with her co-workers who were all single women that were either divorced, never married, or whatever. And pretty much they rubbed off on her because they were always going out drinking and partying and doing God knows what. And so this guy took it pretty hard, and of course, he agreed to this reluctantly. And with no problem at all, she started going out and dating, hooking up with dudes and having a fling with her manager. And this guy, he did some dating, but it didn't really go anywhere. And then lo and behold, he met this one woman that he just from the get-go had a great time with. She's great to him, makes him feel like a man, the sex is amazing, all that. And when that started to happen, his wife noticed how happy he was and what was happening. And all of a sudden, guess what? The wife no longer wants to have an open marriage anymore. Now that she has competition, she doesn't want an open marriage anymore, and she's now treating him like a king. And now this guy's thinking, maybe I don't want to be married anymore because his feelings for her are gone. And he's at a crossroads. So it's a very interesting story where this was her idea to begin with, and then it was hard for him. And now he's got somebody that's amazing. And now he's questioning whether he wants to be in the marriage. So I'm going to go over his story here because it's really interesting to hear, guys. He says, "Hello, dude. Never once did I think I would get to this point. To the point of reaching out to an influencer on the internet for guidance. But here we go. Well, bro, I get about 20 or 30 emails like this a day, so, no worries. It's pretty common. And for you guys that do send me the emails, I understand I will get back to you, but I get a ton of them, like I said, every day, so just bear with me here. Not every email is going to become a video because I've got to pick certain ones, but I will read your emails, and I will get back to you. Just give me some time because as things go on, I get more and more emails every day." He goes on to say, "My wife and I have been together for 10 years, but married for 8. We met in college, and we're each other's first and only." Well, you may think that, but that may not be the case. I hope that's true. I hope that she was honest with you, but that may not be the case given the story that I'm going to get into here. I honestly thought we had a unique and beautiful relationship because of that, but it appears that was just me. Some time ago, my wife began working at a new company. At first, she found it difficult to fit in because she's always been reserved, but after encouragement from me, she made friends with a group of girls, some of whom are single, divorced, or dating, but not married. At first, I was happy she made friends, but then she started going out for drinks, partying, or some other things her friends had planned. I became concerned by her change in behavior and tried to talk to her about it, but at the same time didn't want to restrict her in any way. So this guy is trying to be supportive of her and encourage you to go out with the girls and all that, but unfortunately it starts to backfire. I became concerned by her change in behavior and tried to talk. I went over this part already. It goes on to say, it then started to affect our relationship in the bedroom. My wife wasn't one to initiate intimacy, but with her continued going out, she was either too tired or wasn't in the mood. At some point, her company got a new manager who my wife and her friends had taken a shining to. She began mentioning him in passing, but it got to the point where she pointed out how he handled certain problems. And that didn't seem to be work-related. I questioned her on her fascination with this man, and she brushed off my concerns. She even started asking if I regretted not having more experience with women, to which I said no because she is all I ever needed. I swore I thought for a moment I saw a flash of sadness in her eyes, but she quickly changed the subject. Okay, guys, so I'm going to stop here and say when women randomly bring up other guys, that's not an accident. Okay, pay attention to that because definitely something's up. Okay, she's definitely, maybe at that point she wasn't hooking up with this guy, but she's obviously liking this guy. Okay, and that sometimes women sometimes do this type of crap to get you to step up to pay attention to them. Maybe because you're screwing up, basically saying, hey, this is your replacement if you don't get with the program. But in this case, this guy, from what he's describing in his story, seems to be a pretty loyal, good husband to her. But there's no making her happy, and obviously she's not, and so she's bringing up her boss. And by the way, notice how she brings up, are you happy that you never had experiences with other women? That's not an accident. Guys, this is planned. She brought this up for a reason, which is going to lead into what I'm going to get into next. No accidents, guys. Women can be very shrewd, very diabolical with the things they say, and that little seeds they plant in your head. She started mentioning open marriages as a way to spice up our marriage. I was taken back because my wife was never this kind of person, and not that liberal, sexually, to be honest. So her asking him, in the previous part that I went over, was he ever disappointed that he never had any more relationships and obviously hooked up with other women? That was on purpose, leading to her bringing up the subject of open marriages, because obviously that's what she wanted. I at first refused and questioned if this had anything to do with a new manager, to which she denied, but said she felt like she missed out, but at the same time didn't want to lose me. So this was a safer option. In other words, she wants to have her cake and eat it too. She wants to go out and have fun and have the freedom to date and hook up with other guys, and obviously this manager. But she doesn't want to lose her husband. She doesn't want to lose, that backup. And not to mention, obviously, the meal ticket. I mean, she's working, but obviously he obviously contributes to the expenses and so forth. So she wants to have him in reserves, but also be free to go out and date and hook up with other dudes. And by the way, she knows darn well it is way easier for a woman to casually hook up with guys than it is for a guy to casually hook up with women. I mean, let's be honest here, guys. Your average woman that's just okay looking, not bad, kind of cute, could literally hold a sign saying free, and there'll be a line down the street of guys willing to hook up with her. But your average guy could hold up a sign saying free, and he's not going to get anybody. Or if he's really good looking, and he was outside a bar or a club on a Friday, Saturday night, he could get some girls. But we all know it's way, way easier for a woman than it is for a guy to casually have flings and all that. So she knows this, trust me. And she obviously knows this guy isn't happy about this, but she doesn't care. But it's going to come back to bite her in the ass, as you guys are going to see as the story continues. He goes on to say, I warned her that she was playing with fire, then reluctantly and naively agreed. This guy should never have gone along with this if he didn't want this, okay? So we set some rules, mainly not to sleep with another person in our home, and for a year my wife goes on dates, has one-night stands, and then, as if I didn't see it coming, somehow is in some kind of relationship with that manager. Gee, big surprise there. I, on the other hand, had a few dates, but no one-night stands because frankly it felt wrong to me. My wife would ask if I was fine, but really wouldn't change her behavior. Of course not, she's got it made. She's got this guy at home, as her safety net. But meanwhile, she can go out and do whatever she wants. So unbelievably selfish. She doesn't care. This is a good guy. He doesn't want to do this, and he honestly shouldn't have gone along with this, but he did, and you're going to see what this leads to. So one can argue that things can happen for a reason. Good things can come out of bad situations depending on how you handle it. But regardless, if you're in a situation like this, guys, and she brings this up, a wife of yours, or girlfriend, whatever it is, if you don't want to do it, you do not go along with it. And if that means just split up, you split up. But clearly, she wasn't happy. And this poor guy obviously loved and cared about her, and obviously probably had his heart broken with her bringing this up. But paybacks are coming. He goes on to say, at some point, I felt the love I had for her, the pure special innocence of marriage, was gone, and it was killing me inside. I ended up going on a date with an amazing woman who migrated over from South Korea. The conversation with her was effortless. She had a wit of lightning fast, and a smile that had one forget himself. This, of course, led to more dates until we were intimate. I honestly never had sex like I had with this woman. That's awesome, man. I never knew a woman could be so giving and make one feel so desirable. At first, my wife thought it was cute, but as the months went by, she began questioning my relationship with my lover. I bet she did. She probably saw how happy this guy was and how fulfilled he was, and all of a sudden, he probably stopped, obviously showing that he was upset with her going out with other guys because now this guy's got something great. And this guy deserves this after what he's been through. But it gets better, guys. I promptly pointed out that this was her idea, and even she was in a relationship with a manager, which I was concerned about. She was silent, looked like she wanted to say something, withheld her tongue. Damn right she can hold her tongue because this all was her idea. He didn't want to do this, but he went along with it for her, and now he's got something great, and now she's not happy about it. Too bad. Now this is the part where it gets really interesting, guys. She began coming home early to surprise me with dinner and get the house extra clean. She started coming to my workplace to drop off lunch and began to initiate intimacy in the bedroom. Honestly, if it wasn't for opening up our marriage, which I'm to blame for agreeing to all this, would have me jumping for joy. So notice that she didn't do any of this beforehand, and she certainly wasn't doing it when he was at home, not really dating anybody. And she was having all the fun hooking up with people and dating and hooking up with her manager. But now this guy has somebody that he really likes and likes him. makes him feel like a man, makes him feel great and loved, and the sex is amazing, and all of a sudden her behavior is completely changed. Guys, this is what happens when women compete over you. So it's always a good place to be where if you're dating multiple women, be honest about the fact that you're dating other women, number one, because you don't want to keep a secret, and then have any unnecessary drama with the one finding out that you're dating other women when she thought she was the only one. You don't need that kind of crap in your life because some women are crazy and it could get ugly. The other reason is if you're honest about just saying, yeah, I'm dating other women, letting a woman that you're dating know this in the first place, that's going to make her treat you better if she really likes you, because she's going to want to get you all to herself. She's going to compete. So his South Korean woman that he's dating is treating him like the king because she knows she has competition. And now his wife is giving him the royalty treatment because she knows she has competition. This is a great place to be, guys. Remember this. He goes on, I barely gave in to her attempts at intimacy, and when I did, it was simply to get it over with. See, this guy has lost his attraction to her. He's lost his feelings, love for her because of what she did to him. Something in me towards my wife died, and I could see she felt it too. I asked what brought on this change in her. What was different? The response I got was that she wants to show me that she loves me and is happy with me. I never intended to, but I burst out laughing. I asked about her little group of friends, her manager lover, and of course, her one-night stands. She didn't respond that day and simply went to bed in tears. The next day I got home to find her waiting for me. She told me she wants me to close the marriage. In other words, no longer have the open marriage, and of course no longer date his South Korean girlfriend. That this whole experience was a horrible mistake and regrets everything, and wants us to be the focus of our relationship again. I told her to be honest with me and tell me what inspired all this in the first place. And what do you know it? It was her group of friends that planted the idea because of their numerous sexual exploits, and when her manager came around, he surprisingly supported that lifestyle and encouraged my wife to live free. Okay, here's a question. Well, number one, big surprise, it was the KEO workers and the manager, but number two, in this day and age, thanks to the Me Too movement, what manager is going to have this conversation with one of his employees, okay, and get away with it? I'll tell you the type that's very good-looking and charming and all the women like. Those guys can get away with it, but if the guy isn't charming, he's not good-looking. They're going to complain this guy's going to lose his job. But again, this guy's a sleazeball because he knows this woman's married, but he doesn't care. So big surprise, it was the KEO workers and the manager. Goes on. Apparently it developed into an emotional affair, but only got physical once the marriage opened. And he says, wow, like that makes it better. She described it as being drunk behind the wheel of a speeding car. It was thrilling and intoxicating, but the price of this decision has become too much for her to bear. Too bad. This was her idea. And by the way, guys, notice how the blame is being shifted on her KEO workers, her manager, not really her. What have I told you guys about the whole accountability thing? When putting a corner, women don't generally own up to their mistakes. They're going to blame somebody else. You know, guys, we may screw things up, but at least most of us will take ownership of our screw-ups. But in so many cases, women do not, and right here goes on. She sees now that she never needed a comparison, that what we had was truly unique and special, but now she feels like she murdered our marriage and any chance of our life together. I told her I might not ever be able to see her as the wife again, and this made her break down in front of me. I simply held her in silence as she cried until she fell asleep in my arms on the couch. She has since left her job and cut off contact with all her friends and her manager. She even told me she's willing to spend the rest of her life making it up to me and work her fingers to the bone to be seen as my wife by me. But I haven't cut off contact with my lover. My lover, quite frankly, makes me feel like a man, like I can challenge the world, and my wife hasn't in a while. Truth is, I don't know what to do in this situation. I would love to get the special feeling back if possible, but my lover basically saved me when I was at my lowest. Please help me. Then he says, also I forgot to add, we have our first marriage counseling session in a couple of hours. Not sure how this will go. Well, at the end of the day, this guy, and I'm talking to you here, you've got to do what's best for you, okay? I can't tell you what to do. Nobody on this channel that's going to comment on this story can tell you what to do. You have to do what's best for yourself. So I would recommend doing some serious soul searching. Don't just make this decision in one night about where you want to go, because truly, if you have no feelings towards your wife anymore, it's just you don't have that in love feeling with her anymore. You don't trust her anymore. The hurt was too much for what she did. Then it's time to start really thinking about an exit strategy and moving on, okay? But here's the deal again. Do what you want to do. This whole thing started because, yes, she started this whole thing and it was her idea, but you went along with it even though you didn't want to, okay? I'm not giving you a hard time about this, I'm just saying what happened. And again, one could argue, well, maybe, good things come from bad situations because now he met this amazing woman that treats him like the king and so forth. But at the end of the day, you gotta do what you want to do. But let me make this clear. If you're going to end the marriage because of what happened and you're no longer in love with her and you, don't trust her, and frankly, deep down, you have a feeling that you may be getting the royalty treatment from her now. But if you end it with your lover, you may get this for a little bit, but 6 months from now, it can be back to the same thing all over again. And if I was a betting man, I'd say it will be. But if you end the marriage, do it because of you. Don't do it because of this amazing woman that you're dating right now, because I guarantee you this honeymoon phase that you're in with her, which is all great and cool, it's not going to last forever. And right now she knows she has to compete to get you from your wife, so she's on her best behavior. But guaranteed in situations like this, which I've been in myself and also heard countless stories, you end it with your wife and move on. You may have the royalty treatment from this new woman for a while, but after a while that is going to become less and less and less. Okay, that's just typically how it goes. So if you're going to end this, truly end it for you, regardless of whether you think this is going to last with your South Korean girlfriend or not, okay? And if you end it and you want to pursue things with her, have a great time. But just keep down the back your mind that it may not last forever. But whatever you do, my friend, don't get married again. I've made this abundantly clear in this channel, the problems with it, the pitfalls. And if you end up divorcing your wife, understand that you're going to end up paying some money because, I don't know, she's working now, but you did say at the end of the article that she left that job, so she's no longer working and you initiate divorce. That means bigger alimony payment to her, so make sure if you end the marriage, she's back working again, okay? Or just that will help you out. But if you want to do the therapy, couples therapy for a little bit, just giving that a shot, okay, go ahead, that's your choice. But at the end of the day, if your gut is telling you this is just not right and it's over, trust your gut. You don't want to stay in a marriage that you're unhappy about and you're always going to sleep with one eye, open, wondering is this going to happen again or if she's going to cheat because she may be feeling it. In that moment saying that she'll spend the rest of her life making it up to you and working to the bone to make it up to you because women are all about their feelings and what they feel in that moment. But I guarantee you that's going to change. So that's what I think again, you've got to do what you want to do. Don't do what I tell you to do or anybody else. Do what's best for you. So alright guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let the guy know what you think about this. Help a brother out. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.